Right. Hello. So, the point of this video journal is twofold. On one hand, I am going to be recording this just to have a place to put my thoughts and just everyday occurrences and such. The second is because I thought this would be a good Christmas gift from my mom. She was like, one time, a few weeks ago, she was like, Caleb, I would like for my Christmas/birthday gift if you made a photo album of just your life. And I'm doing that, and I thought one thing that I could also add to it is I would just kind of have a journal thing. I don't know. Anyway. So I'll just be basically saying whatever comes to mind when I am playing this. Alright. I think I'll build a medieval hut today. Let's see. Alright, make a boundary, I guess. Construction area. So, I guess I'll tell you about my day. Today, I ran out of food today, for the most part. I have food, but I don't have anything that'll this gotta be wider, fix that. I've got food, I just don't have anything that could, basically I was out of milk, because everything I make has milk in it. At least for breakfast. In the morning, gotta get the milk, Gotta get the milk. But either way, I didn't have any food at home made, so went on a little quest, because I don't have a car. I just walked from my dorm to Albertsons and got some groceries. Basically, I got oranges, milk, bananas. Those were the things I was out of. Those are basically, I have plenty of stuff that doesn't go bad, like carbs and noodles and beans and stuff like that. Plenty of that. But stuff that goes bad, I go through pretty quick. And since I don't have a car, I have to go walk and get it. Usually I go with a friend, but he is in Bear Lake today. So. Alright. Going for a standard Anglo-Saxon hut here. From archaeological evidence, we know a little bit about these. Mostly we just know about the post holes. So when we find an Anglo-Saxon settlement, the Anglo-Saxons were basically the people who lived in Britain from 450 AD to, we usually stop it at the year 1066. That's the Battle of Hastings. That's when the Normans invaded. The Normans are French. Concrete powder. Obviously, we don't have any surviving examples of Anglo-Saxon homes. So most of this comes from archaeology. And I do take some creative liberties. Not a lot, though. That would be the door, I guess. Oh, I forgot. It's one hole deep. We'll make it work. So basically what we find is post holes. Evidence of post holes. And post holes would have likely been where they put the logs in, and then in between the logs they would have filled it with wattle and daub, and then there would probably have been a lime wash over it. There didn't have to be. This could have been mud too, but I think the white looks a little bit prettier. They could have just as easily lime washed over the logs as well, but I think this is a prettier aesthetic. So, and they were also really small homes, so I am going pretty historically accurate here. They would have thatched roofs. That's almost guaranteed. Well, there is a few types of material that we have evidence for in the Anglo-Saxon period. If it was a church, it would have mostly likely have been a slate roof. Slate's just a type of stone. But if you were a common peasant folk, you had two options basically. And that would have been a thatched roof, or you could make a wood tiled roof. Pros and cons to both. I think in England, I'm going to change the time. Alright, that's better. Change the brightness. We're on full brightness. Alright. There are pros and cons to like whether you would in the medieval era have a thatched roof or a wood tiled one. One, it depends on how much quality wood is around. Because, trees are expensive, man. I went to Home Depot the other day and I was like, I didn't realize how expensive wood was. Like, when you play, video games like this, wood is the cheapest material or whatever. But I don't think it really is that way in real life. Like, would you rather make a house out of... If you're building a building, it's cheaper to make it out of concrete than wood, I'm pretty sure. Because, like, it was like a 5x7, like, sheet of particle board. Not particle board, but that, like, kind of wood where it's just a bunch of, like, wood chips glued together. That is what it was like. And... see, do I like that? I like that. See. Let's make it a little symmetrical. Yeah, but anyway, particle board. Not particle board. I already said that, and I didn't correct myself. Wood's expensive. If you know, you know. Alright, I'll show you a pro gamer building move that I've developed. When you're building these thatched roofs, you want to use bamboo, but you don't want to use it everywhere. What you want to do is create the silhouette of a curved roof. Because, like, Minecraft's blocky. The best parts about this game is trying to figure out the best way to make something look less blocky, in my opinion. Obviously, it can lend itself to non-blocky things too, and it looks great. But in my opinion, when I play it, I try to make it as organic and realistic looking as possible. Alright, let's see. Did that do us any favors? Not really. We're gonna have to add more curvature to the top part. I build this same hut over and over again a lot, so I know pretty well what I'm doing. Imagine building this in survival. It would be ridiculous. That's a good thing to point out, actually. When I say historically accurate, I mean in terms of aesthetics and, like, how it looks. Because, like, they weren't, like, taking grain and using that as thatch. They would have used heather or other types of materials. Basically grass. Except heather's really pretty. It's, like, purple. The only pretty thing in England. That's a joke. There are lots of pretty things in England. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. And that's a really round roof. In fact, let's curve that up a little bit more. Yeah. So if you're going to build a thatched roof, I find that it's best to use... And it depends. Like, if you look at it on the side, the, like, red stripes are really off-putting. You can fix that a little bit. I like to put these on the corner. It kind of gives it a bit more of a organic shape, I guess. Yeah, see, that's pretty good, I would say. And it also kind of, like, hides the red on the sides a little bit more. Not perfectly, but in fact, yeah. Just because there's a resource pack, Zoom Avoid, I believe, It's the guy who makes it. That will fix this for you, but the consequence is that it's not vanilla Minecraft anymore. I tried to do my best to stick to the vanilla Minecraft style. And that means sometimes you have to make sacrifices of aesthetics to balance the integrity of the game. Them's the beans. Yeah, I like that. I like these little, like, trapdoors. Kind of give it a little bit more of an organic volume look. So anyway, I was at the store. Let's go back to that. I was at the store today, and I got the banana and such. But I also was definitely not in the mood to make food. So I got a Little Caesars pizza. That was cool. Let's add some buttons. I don't like these. Add some fences. That one's cool. I like that. Yeah. So far, everything that I put on it has been relatively accurate as far as the archaeological record goes. Starting now, I'm making some embellishments for the sake of the build. Like, for example, these posts, they probably wouldn't leave any trace behind. So there isn't like a guarantee that this is what these posts would have been here in an authentic Anglo-Saxon home. But because of the way I built it, I think it would be realistic for those to be there, although that wouldn't be necessarily a guarantee. It does look cooler though, so there's that. Alright, so that's turning out pretty good, I would say. Delete. It's a new Minecraft skin, by the way. Took me forever to figure out how to do the transparent glasses, but very much worth the effort. The only thing I think I would have changed is I'm not sure what I would have changed. The hair is a bit off. There's some issues with the hair in the back. We might just fix that later. Anyway. So we got a Little Caesars pizza. And I looked pretty silly because I was walking home with groceries in one hand and a Little Caesars pizza in the other. It was like 90 degrees outside and I had a sweater on. So I looked pretty crazy, if I do say so myself. Let's add some buttons. Buttons are an overpowered Minecraft block. They make everything look a little better. See, I just made them more pretty. I don't even know what this would have been. Like, jut outs and I don't even know. Doorway. I'm not sure what their door would have looked like. Maybe just like a big old blanket hanging over it or something. There's one thing we don't have. It's kind of a... Oops. There we are. what I usually like to do is I like to put a banner on the front and the back, because I'm imagining, like, a door is expensive, you know? So, I guess the best you would do is, like, hang a blanket over it, or, like, I mean, not a blanket, but, like, a piece of fabric in front of the door. I think it looks cool. It's a little more authentic, maybe. Not authentic, since we don't really know. We got post holes to show that there was a doorway, at least, in archaeological records. But yeah, most of the stuff we know is extrapolation from future periods. There isn't a lot of written sources on this kind of stuff. And then just kind of like, what is it? Experimental archaeology, I believe is what they call it. So like there's a place called Gudalon Castle where it's like the ultimate put yourself in the shoes of the people who lived in the past. And they like are building a castle only with authentic technology. Authentic technology of the period, I should say. And they did some other buildings too. Those went up a lot quicker, but I imagine there was some information gleaned from them. They used wood tiles on their buildings on the Gudalon Castle in France. That reminds me. They also had brick tiles for roofs in France, but not in the UK. There wasn't any evidence of bricks in Anglo-Saxon England, except for, interestingly enough, they would take like old Roman ruins and they would steal the bricks from the old Roman buildings and like use them to make their own. But they didn't manufacture any of them themselves. Anyway, let's see the hut. It's not bad. Notice that it's not a square shape. That's another thing we find, is that Anglo-Saxon homes typically were a bit more rounded. What else? We also know that they were like dug into the ground. So like if I were to do this extra accurate, I would build another one. Let's just build another one. Probably should have checked if this is recording correctly. I made a recording a little bit ago and that didn't turn out too well, so. Third time's the charm. I'm bored, I don't want to do that. Anything else today? I cut my hair like a month ago, and it's super funny because I keep on bumping into people that I know and they don't recognize me anymore. I had like really long hair. It was like a foot long. And I cut it down. Anyway, let's see, anything else I can do to make this a little more accurate or nicer looking? Yeah, why not? So like I said, I made it look accurate, not necessarily like physically accurate, since white concrete powder didn't exist back then, and there would have been oak logs. Well, I think that's it. Hope this works out.